sourdough starter for Valentine's Day. You try your hand at a bunch of bread and some sourdough pancakes. Hey y'all, welcome back to Krista's Kitchen. So today we're going to make a mess, it seems. Thatcher, what'd you drop?
Jello!
As y'all can see, today is a snack day, so I'm going to make a few more snacks to go on our snack tray to just nibble on until dinner time. And yes, it's almost 2 o'clock. It's still fine. We'll get it done. But today's a snacky kind of day anyway, and it'll probably give me a chance to push dinner a little bit later. So first up, we're going to make our pickle dip, and we like to have it with pretzels. I like it with the sticks because they're delicious, but these are good little scoop vessels also for some pickle dip. And then I'm going to make some strawberry bread. The strawberry bread is a new recipe for us, so we're going to try it out and see how it turns out. But I'm going to zoom y'all in. We'll get started on the pickle dip and then move to the strawberry bread. Okay, so we've got our cream cheese softening over here. I've got like some warm water. I just have it making like a little steamer bucket. But we've got that softening up, and while that softens, we're going to go ahead and chop our pickles. So we need about a cup to a cup and a half of chopped pickles. Depends on how pickly you want it. So I've got my little measuring cup. And you can buy pre-chopped and diced pickles. However, we like to just eat these pickle spears and have pickles anyway. So this is easier and more cost efficient. And I use dill pickles because that's the flavor that I like. I'm not sure that a bread and butter kind of pickle would work in this, but some other, like maybe spicy pickles might be a yummy variation for it. If you like pickles, this sounds weird, but Ellinor will tell y'all it is addictive. Even if you're just like, pickles are okay, this is awesome. Like, it is so yummy.
Are you talking about pickles?
Out of my 2 children, Ellinor is the pickier eater, and she loves her some pickles. So you see I've got almost a full cup. I'm going to go ahead and cut this other one. Oh, it's a little more rubbery. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this one, and Ellinor, I'm sure, will take whatever leftovers we have of this. Okay, so we've got our pickles, and it doesn't have to go in a bowl. You don't have to measure it, but so I can see. All right, Ellinor, you want these other 2 pieces? Here. All right, so now that our pickles are all chopped, move that over. We need 2 blocks of cream cheese. It will do you a great service if it's already pretty softened. Makes it easier to stir. So to this, we're just going to dump all of our pickle chunks. I'm going to add in about 4 tablespoons of this dry ranch mix. And I say about because we'll taste test it and see if we need more. And then you need a couple green onions, 1 or 2 or 3, just whatever you have, to add some more freshness to it. I just am using some of the green onion tops from Ellinor's garden. You can add whites and all if you want. We just add the tops. And just like that, that's our entire pickle mix. We're just going to mix it all together. You can add sliced deli ham, about a cup of sliced deli ham, and we usually do. However, I don't have any, so it won't, to me it doesn't change the flavor too much. It changes more the texture and kind of holding it all together. And that, just that extra layer of saltiness, kind of go with ham, pickles, cheese, cream cheese. It's kind of a flavor thing. And there we have it. Now you can set this to the side and let the flavors kind of develop a little bit more, or dig straight into it, which is what I'm going to do. So, let's get this kid's snack tray built, and we'll start working on our strawberry bread. And there we go. We're going to let them munch on this while we make the strawberry bread. Okay, so for our strawberry bread, I've got the oven preheating to 350. We're going to start on the batter, and once this goes in the oven, we'll make the glaze. So first up, we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. We're going to make our wet mixture first, and then add in our dry mixture. So 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. We need 1/2 cup of milk. And 1/2 cup of canola or vegetable oil. So since these are fresh eggs, I always crack them separate. Well, I always tell myself I should crack them separate just to make sure they're all still good. So 1 large egg. Need a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'll probably do about 1.5 teaspoons. I normally have a heavier hand, especially whenever I'm eyeballing it, so I know we like a little bit more of that flavor. Okay, so we're going to mix all of our wet ingredients together with that sugar. Now we're going to sift in 2 cups of flour. So we need 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt. And as y'all can see, I'm doing a big no-no that I tell Ellinor not to do, is to measure over our bowl, but we're still doing it. As you see with the flour dusted all around, you could slip, and especially with that salt, everything else, you could slip big time and end up with a big old mess. Now, the original recipe does not say that you have to sift in your flour, but we all know that that usually makes for a much lighter flour, and you get those big floury chunks out of it. And since we're wanting to make a pretty bread, took the extra step. Alright, let's just fold this all together. Sometimes I'll add my salt and my baking powder straight to my liquid ingredients, because I don't know where I heard it or read it, but I just feel like it gets around more evenly in the mixture than even mixing it with your flour beforehand. Okay, so we don't want to over mix it, just get it all incorporated. Scrape down the side. Alright, so I'm going to set this to the side. Now we need 2 cups of these strawberries, and yes, I did rinse my cutting board. Now, we're just going to take our strawberries and roughly dice them up. Alright, so now that we have our 2 cups in our bowl, we're going to mix it all around. You don't want to mix it too much, but make sure they're all mixed around. Alright, so we're going to take our greased bread pan and just pour this all in. I found this recipe when I was looking for Valentine's Day recipes, and taking a break from school this week and just having fun and trying to get them in the kitchen a little bit more also, because school's been tough these last couple of weeks, so they haven't really been in the kitchen a ton. Besides, Ellinor's been making her German apple cake a lot. Like, she's made that cake about 7 times in the last 2 months, between just for practice because she took that cake to a competition, and then also making it because her brother eats like an entire cake by himself at this point. But besides that, they haven't been in the kitchen too terribly much. Not like usual. Spreading this out a little bit. Okay, we're going to pop this in the oven at 350 for about 50 to 55 minutes. We'll keep an eye on it, see if it finishes quicker than that. Every oven is different. So we will see. And if your baking pan is different, then that will change things also. Now for our glaze, we're going to take 2 tablespoons of butter and melt it really quick. To this, we're going to add 2 cups of powdered sugar. And if you don't have powdered sugar, you can just take your regular granulated sugar and run it through the blender and it will powder it up. I need about a teaspoon of vanilla. Y'all see what I mean when I say I'm heavy-handed? And take a few splashes of milk. The recipe called for 2 tablespoons. And then instead of dicing my strawberries for this, I'm going to slice them just because I think visually I'll like that better. I'm going to mix this around. You may end up adding more milk if we need a thinner glaze. So we definitely will need some more milk, and yes, I am stirring it with a knife. It's the same knife I just used to slice off that chunk of butter. And the recipe calls for 1/3 cup of diced strawberries. I'm just slicing up what I had left from, well, it was actually 2 pounds, but I picked out some of the strawberries that I wanted to use, and Thatcher's gonna have the rest. So a little over a pound. But the recipe in total calls for 2 cups, and then for the bread, and then 1/3 cup of diced strawberries for the glaze. I just think they'll be prettier in these big slices. Okay, so our strawberry bread is all out, and as you can see, we added some more to our snacks. Just gave the kids the rest of the strawberries, made some quick guacamole and some semi-homemade tortilla chips because apparently we are out. So just threw those in the air fryer. So we're going to slice a little bit off of our cake just so we can see it before we pour this icing over. Yummy. Okay, and just like I said before, those strawberries really let out some liquid, so I don't even know if we needed that original milk to help thin it either. But we're going to pour this over, and she did say that it is a lot of glaze because they like a lot. So looking at how much this is, we might next time, if we like this recipe, half it. Because that is a lot. Don't run off the plate. And like I said, I sliced my strawberries just because I thought it would be prettier. And I'm glad that I did. But, alright, we're going to take a little piece off this end, and I know it's still hot. It literally just came out of the oven. I let it cool for about a minute before I flipped it out of the pan. That is very good. I will say though, so much of that powdered sugar, and it looks like I didn't mix my powdered sugar very well. But so much of that powdered sugar makes it very, very sweet. I'm sure the kids will love it. But I would have rather had this as just the bread without the glaze. But I think it's a keeper recipe, and maybe, especially when we get in a citrusy mood, switch some of this out for like a lemon or an orange with the same basic bread recipe. So as it soaks into it, it almost tastes like a waffle. It is delicious. It is just very sweet. So, let's see what the kids think about it.